Hi y'all, today we're making pizza dough, or I call it pizza dough, but really you can use it for anything. Calzones, stromboli, any of those great Italian dishes, but you can also use it for other things. I suppose you can make like little meat pies and things with it. To start out, we're going to use 1 cup of lukewarm water, and I apologize, I'm starting to lose my voice again. And we're going to mix up our yeast here. We're going to get our yeast activated with this warm water. And this is so simple. People get nervous about like baking bread. And getting a dough ready is so easy. It's really, really easy. Okay, now they want us to pre-sift the flour, so we're adding a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt to our flour, and we don't know how much flour this is. We're just measuring sifting a lot of flour, and then we're going to measure it after we sift it, because they just want it to be fluffy and airy, because the more, when you measure it after it's been sifted, you actually are getting less flour and more air, but it makes what you are baking is going to have more air. It's going to be lighter. And now here I am. We started now adding the flour to the yeast and water mixture, and so I'm using my mixer here on this and mixing it in. And we're adding the flour in a little bit at a time, and then mixing it, and then a little bit at a time. And now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of butter. Basically just of fat. 2 tablespoons of some kind of fat. The recipe works best with shortening. And it calls for shortening, but I have not used shortening in many years. But when I used to make this recipe years ago, I know it worked better with shortening. But I just haven't used it in so long. But there are many recipes that are better with it. If you use shortening, by all means, use 2 tablespoons of shortening. Okay, now here we are. We're using the remaining flour. It's 1 1/4 cup of pre-sifted flour. And again, we're doing it a little at a time. Okay, and now I'm going to work it with my hands. It's about ready to take out of there and knead a little bit. And I put some oil on my hands. If you've got a sticky dough, I just put a little vegetable oil or whatever kind of oil you have handy on your hands, like you're putting on lotion, and the dough won't stick to you so badly. You'll still get some dough all around your fingernails and stuff, but it won't be so bad. Alright, now I've got this other bowl. I'm going to put the dough in it. I've greased this other bowl. The bowl that I have the dough in now, I greased it. I've put the dough in it. I've covered it with this towel. And you need to put it, and this is 45 minutes later. It has doubled in size. And I punched it down. You could feel it like kind of deflate. And here is something you can make with it. It's a great pizza. And if you click there is a link to the recipe and also a calzone, and that's my calzone. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And as always, you've been in the kitchen with Dinah.